take it down to the
See
floor.
them battle.
Hello and welcome to round 6 of the Magic the Gathering Community Cup. I'm Brad David Marshall. I am joined here in the booth by Matt Tabak, and there on your screen you see Pro Tour Top 8 competitor Melissa DeTora playing against Command Cast co-host Jimmy Wong.
This is the final round of Battle for Zendikar sealed deck, live and in person here from the Community Cup at Wizards of the Coast headquarters in Renton, Washington. As you can see up top, the scoreboard, it is 60-60. The teams are tied. So this last round will determine who takes the lead into halftime, as it were. We see Melissa DeTora kick it off with some non-basic lands.
Yeah, she had a Fertile Thicket and a Looming Spires. It's an Expedition Envoy for Jimmy Wong there in between those spell lands coming into play. Like sometimes you just got to get them into play early and you don't get to actually use their come into play ability because you just need your land to come into play untapped later on in the turn.
Yeah, the Looming Spires, it enters the battlefield tapped. It taps for red mana. When it enters the battlefield, you can target creature, gets +1/+1, and gains first strike. So a useful trick to make your attacker better. But if she had played that land later, her mana base would have come out a little clunkier. This way lets her hit her drops here on turn 3.
And here you see she uses Titan's
And 4.
Presence, revealing Kozilek Channeler to kill the Expedition Envoy. So, she was already down to 16 from that thing. It came down to 2-1. It's just kind of like a Savannah line. Oh my gosh. Is that From Beyond?
It was time to put an end to that nonsense.
Is that From Beyond? Oh my gosh. I'm so excited. This was my preview card for this set.
This was your preview card.
Yeah, I'm so excited to play with this card. It's super exciting. Basically, it's kind of like Awakening Zone, except really, really much better.
Okay.
It makes a 1/1 every turn.
That does sound
makes
better.
an Eldrazi sign every turn. And then it also has this ability, green and 1, and you can sacrifice it to search for an Eldrazi card.
Right, and then you put that card into your hand and shuffle your library.
And then you sacrifice your Eldrazi and you play it. Oh my gosh.
So,
lots of power cards here. There's Gideon, ally of Zendikar from Jimmy Wong.
So Melissa's getting a stream of 1/1 Eldrazi Scions one a turn, and that's going to help her out. Gideon, ally of Zendikar,
also making a stream of 1/1s.
Yeah.
Or actually, are those 2/2s?
Oh, for Gideon.
Yeah,
so yeah, the middle ability on Gideon is a 0, so it doesn't lose loyalty counters, and you get a 2/2 White Knight ally creature token.
Yeah,
which is of course awesome for rally, awesome for just building an army, and Gideon, his traditional ability to become a creature.
Oh, Gideon is gonna fight the Channeler.
Ah, interesting. So
he's indestructible. So
yeah, Jimmy Wong activated the first ability of Gideon that, of course, makes him into a 5/5 human soldier ally with indestructible, and there's nothing like fighting with your indestructible creatures.
Yeah,
it works out
unnatural aggression is the card that lets them fight
really
well.
That's
a pretty big turn there for Jimmy Wong.
Huge swings this early. We're just a minute or two into this match, and already Jimmy Wong and Gideon have teamed up to really put a hurt on Melissa DeTora. But
it looks like
these Eldrazi Scions are relentless.
Looks like she's got a couple of... she has something up her sleeve there.
Now, does she still have the Channeler?
No. The Channeler fell to the fight.
Oh, right. I was so blinded by Gideon, ally of Zendikar. All right, 6 mana. What do we have here?
Is that Conduit of Ruin?
It looks like Conduit of Ruin.
So that is a 5/5 for 6 mana, and then when you cast it, you may search your library for a colorless creature card with converted mana cost 7 or greater. Reveal it.
So about that.
Put it in your hand. Yeah, and it looks like that's Ulamog, the Ceaseless Hunger that she went and got.
Ulamog, the Eldrazi Titan, still is battling for Zendikar, battling to eat Zendikar, I think is what's
So you
going
basically
on.
Wordly Tutor that card up. It is sitting on top of her deck.
Yes.
That's scary.
So the future she has shown Jimmy Wong the future, and it is a 10/10 indestructible creature. If Melissa can get up to 10 mana,
Well, it's funny.
she's
She gets a little extra mana every turn.
she's more
from
than
beyond.
halfway there.
Yeah, she's got 7 showing. Wow, she's got a lot of redundancy in her deck. She could tutor with From Beyond. She can tutor with Conduit of Ruin.
Well, when you have a game ender like Ulamog, it is great to have redundant ways of finding it.
So that's a Brood Monitor. That's one of the red colorless creatures. Oh, it's green. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, it's colorless.
Yeah,
Who could tell?
So when it enters the battlefield, you put 3 1/1 colorless Eldrazi spawn tokens onto the battlefield. But it's a 3/3 for 6, so. Okay. That's 8 mana. But how many... did she have more tokens? Oh, and Conduit of Ruin also makes things cost 2 less. The first creature spell you cast each turn costs 2 less.
Oh,
to
did we
cast.
forget about that ability?
I did forget about that. I don't know.
Apologies, ladies and gentlemen. We overlooked a major
Oh my gosh.
ability of Conduit of Ruin.
So Ulamog comes into play, exiles the Brood Tyrant and the Gideon. That is just disgusting. Oh, by the way, it's indestructible.
Yeah, folks, Ulamog did not cost 10, as we may have advertised. 8, a mere 8. Now, of course, when it attacks, it does have a third ability, which we talk a lot around the exiling ability, which is awesome, and indestructible, which is great. If it attacks, the defending player exiles the top 20 cards, 20 of his or her library.
Process that.
How many cards would
20
you
cards.
imagine are in a limited deck? So
41,
Yeah.
based on a lot of the friends I have.
And Jimmy, there's a lot of cards on the battlefield. There's a lot. 41, is it? So Jimmy appears to have not many more than 20 cards in his library. That might not be the most pressing issue, though.
All right, everyone's attacking.
Gideon's forces are on the move.
Played a Ghostly Sentinel there. It's 3/3 flying vigilance. just like...
And I believe, folks, we're about to see the hunger be ceaseless.
Jimmy's like, can I convince you to not attack for a turn?
He's saying, you know what the folks at home haven't seen yet? It's Ulamog blocking. That would
No,
be so
they
exciting.
just saw it.
That's Melissa's point. They
Yeah.
just saw that.
And go.
Triggered ability triggers, as they say. And let's count them off. 2, 3, 4, 5.
And could you
6,
just update us on
7,
what cards are going by as he
9, 10,
exiles
11,
them, Matt?
12, 13, 14. I missed Conduit of Ruin. You expect me to look at these 20 cards flying by? Come on now.
So, I mean, really, even if you just...
So a pile. Oh, Jimmy blocks. That's good.
Yeah.
The game completely swinging in favor of Pro Tour top 8 competitor
That last card exiled, by the way, was Deathless Behemoth.
and developer Melissa DeTora.
Yeah, she plays a Barrage Tyrant. Just to be really gross here. You could finish this game off in 3 different ways, like combat damage, Barrage Tyrant damage, and milling. Like with the trigger on the stack.
Yeah, I can't imagine Jimmy's library is going to take another swing. I don't believe he foresaw this and built the 97 card sealed deck.
And there it goes. Scoop.
And there we have it.
Yeah, Melissa DeTora just ceaseless hungers Jimmy Wong's deck into the exile zone.
A convincing victory from Melissa. We'll see what...
Her deck is super... I mean, we could very easily see that again. From Beyond and the Conduit of Ruin. Like, you know, she has a number of ways to just make that happen as soon as she has the mana to cast them.
Yeah, I think Melissa did a really smart thing in bringing her Battle for Zendikar block constructed deck to this event that gives her a significant advantage, I think. No, her sealed came together excellently. Like you said, a lot of redundant options, a lot of threats, and a great endgame.
You know, and you saw again, you know, a card like Titan's Presence. She was able to make
Yeah.
really good use of that.
Even if those large, you know, if Ulamog's in your hand, that's a fine colorless card to
Kill
reveal.
anything you put in my way.
Colorless creature card to reveal the Titan's presence.
I really want to see her just attack with Ulamog and go like in 3 directions. Damage on the stack, Barrage, you know, the ability having resolved, and then fling it with Barrage Tyrant.
Did you say damage on the stack?
Yeah,
I
damage
don't.
on the, I want damage
you
on
say
the stack.
damage
We're
on
not
the
playing
stack?
on Magic Online. We can put damage on the stack.
Okay, I have to go. I have places to be.
I would like to put damage on the stack just today.
What
Can't
does
we
that-
just do it?
What does that even mean?
Just it would be
Damage on the
nice.
stack.
It would be
What
convenient.
a weird idea. Soon you'll be
So,
taping
you've-
cards to the
you've-
wall so
you've
they don't get
become-
hit by Chaos Orb.
I used to do that. I didn't tape the cards to the walls. I taped the little penny sleeves to the wall.
Oh, sure,
And then
sure,
put
sure.
the cards in the penny sleeves.
Yes.
Don't be stupid.
See, back in my day, we banded with other.
Oh,
It doesn't. I don't know what that.
band with legends, right?
Band with other green creatures. Say there, sir. You appear to have horsemanship. Now,
How often do you get banding questions?
how often do I get banding questions? Not often. More than I'd like, but not often. So
I would like to actually have like an Eldrazi team band with like some sort of old school Pegasus.
I would like to see like an actual like band filled with Eldrazi, like musical instruments.
Oh, sure.
The whole works. They could go on tour.
The Annihilation Tour.
The Annihilation Tour. There are a variety of options there. Again, serving them up.
Yeah.
So our competitors are shuffling
Ulamog and the Ceaseless
for
Hunger.
game 2. Melissa DeTora up 1-0.
No, it doesn't look like we're getting any up this. Doesn't look like there's any matches concluded yet. No score updates. Score is still tied 60-60. So that means 20 wins apiece for the two teams.
It's a lot of wins.
Yeah, it's a lot of Magic.
A lot of Magic. So, yeah, thank you guys for hanging out with us. Whether you've been here for a few minutes or all day, we appreciate you tuning in and checking out the Magic Community Cup 2015, Team Wizards of the Coast and Team Magic Community. We are waiting for Game 2 of this match between Melissa DeTora and Jimmy Wong. This is Battle for Zendikar Sealed Deck. And this is the one format of the 4 we have to offer you this weekend that is not on Magic Online. They are playing with actual paper cards.
And by the way, we had an expedition opened.
We did.
Gabriele opened a hollowed fountain.
Doc opened a hollowed fountain. Of course, Zendikar Expedition's a very exciting feature of Battle for Zendikar booster packs. There are 25 non-basic lands that you can find. These are premium, English only, a awesome new frame with a Zendikar treatment to it. You see sort of that hedron carving.
Allie Medwin had a pretty nice consolation prize. She didn't open up the expedition, but she did open up a foil Bucket Island.
Oh, foil Bucket Island.
Yeah.
Team Bucket Island representing here today.
Yeah, pretty exciting.
Let's go back to this shot of the two of them.
Like, I think every pack that doesn't have an expedition should have a foil Bucket Island. Like, that's only fair.
I certainly can't guarantee any particular distribution of cards. Not all Magic cards appear in every Magic booster. I'd like to give a shout out to the WotC lawyers watching us today.
They're watching very closely, too. They're like,
I hope not, because I just have to assume that nobody I know or work for is watching me now.
all right. So Jimmy opens up, looks at his 7.
Melissa's going to stay at 4 cards. No, she's going to 7. There's some gesturing. Looks like Melissa has a couple lands I see. Jimmy Wong, I see a forest, a couple plains.
Yeah, it looks like he's got a keeper.
Yeah, that's a keeper. Melissa's drawing some
Oh,
extra
shit.
cards.
Oh,
So
that's
she's
gonna
going
be that's gonna be an infraction.
she's going to go to 13 cards in hand to start out this game. Good strategy. So we see a mulligan over on the left there. And if you just tuned in, we will remind you that the players are playing with the new mulligan rules that will be making their debut with the Battle for
Are you
Zendikar.
not able to say the Vancouver Mulligan?
Oh, the Vancouver Mulligan. I can say that.
Okay.
The
I thought you were
Vancouver
worried about the
Mulligan.
lawyers again or something.
No. I love the Vancouver Mulligan. I would like to actually call it the Milwaukee Mulligan. Of course, one of our next major events, Pro Tour Milwaukee, coming up.
I don't know what Pro Tour Milwaukee is.
It's Pro Tour
Battle for
set.
Zendikar?
Oh, it's in Milwaukee.
Yes.
Right.
Pro Tour Battle for Zendikar.
I also like to send a shout out to our marketing team if they're watching at home. I appreciate them. Any brand
That's
people?
just brand, yeah.
How you doing? Pro Tour Battle for Zendikar takes place
In Milwaukee.
In Milwaukee. That's coming
Only
up.
literally, metaphorically, it takes place in Zendikar.
Right, in Zendikar, inside a convention center, inside Milwaukee.
There we go. That should satisfy both legal and brand now.
So I'd say this has been a lot of fun. There seems to be very little chance that I'll still work for Wizards of the Coast on Monday, but I must say this has been a ton of fun.
All right,
And
6 cards here from Melissa.
Thank you all. Melissa's good. So
Is she going to scry?
where was I? Oh, right, that new mulligan rule, the Vancouver Mulligan.
Yes.
She's chosen to keep a 6-card hand, and because that's not 7 cards, she can now scry 1. So get a look at her next card. She likes it and is going to leave it on top.
Did you guys give any thought to, like, if you mulligan to 5, getting to scry 2?
We did think of that. One of the problems with that idea is that it turns out scrying 2 is kind of this huge decision tree, right? Now I've got 2 cards I can put on the top or the bottom, and I'm sort of scripting out my next couple turns as possible. That balloons pretty quickly. So we thought the scry 1, no matter how many times you mulligan, is right about the power level that we're looking for.
So Stand Step Bridge is the Stonebridge Step is the lead off there for and a Cliffside Lookout.
Yeah, and away we go.
Ugh. That's going to pick up a couple counters here.
Was that Earthen Arms?
Yes, that is Earthen Arms, a famous Journey song. Oh, but here is Titan's Presence, again revealing Kozilek's Channeler. Wow.
Sorry, Brian. I don't know that song. Could you hum a few bars?
I could.
Okay. So Jimmy makes a big threat. Melissa dispatches a big threat. Jimmy Wong comes back with some cards.
That's a Shadow Glider.
It's a Shadow Glider, which I recognized immediately. 2/2 flyer. 2 white, 2/2 flyer. Solid card. Kind of the standard, kind of the bar for where you want, your card's power level to be, there or above.
Is that Sylvan Scrying?
But certainly, yeah, it could be Sylvan Scrying.
No. Oh, Seek the Wild.
Oh, okay. Both 1G sorceries, but Sylvan Scrying lets you search. Seek the Wilds, look at the top 4 cards of your library. You can get a creature or land and put it into your hand. And the rest go to the bottom. So what I'm seeing on the left side of your screen is Melissa DeTora with many, many forests.
Is that a Grove Tender Druids?
Grove Tender Druids.
No, it's an Eyeless Watcher.
Eyeless Watcher, not unlike us sitting in the booth here.
No, that's not what that is. The gold card. I can't make out the gold card on Jimmy's side of the board there.
Is it not a Grove Tender Druid?
Oh, maybe it is.
It is a Grove Tender Druid.
Okay. So I did make it out and then talked myself out of it.
Always go with your first instincts, unless they're wrong. So Grove Tender Druids allows a rally ability that allows them to pay 1 to make 1/1 green plant creature tokens.
And there's a Territorial Bailoff to follow up. And then the Kozilek Channeler that we saw earlier.
So the battlefield's
Melissa.
filling up on both sides. Jimmy's taking an aggressive stand here.
Yeah, He's just attacking with
He's
everybody.
like, I've got 5 untapped lands. I'm going to attack. I'm just going to get in there, see what happens. Melissa says, all right, I'll buy that. Block. And we'll see what Jimmy has in store.
Yeah, he had a trick. That was a Lithomancer's Focus. What does Lithomancer's Focus do?
Lithomancer's Focus was, so that's an instant. It's 1 white. Target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. And it prevents all damage that would be dealt to the creature for the turn by colorless sources. So an effective tool against the channeler there.
Yeah, I mean, Jimmy's kept his board intact and whittled Melissa's down to size.
Yeah, it's one of those situations where Jimmy attacks. Melissa was tapped out at the time, so Melissa kind of has to give Jimmy credit for cards in hand. She can't just take it. She wasn't really in a position to enter into a race. So she kind of just has to say, all right, what do you got? And, of course, Jimmy had that Lithomancer's Focus.
So in comes the Flyer and in comes the Bailoff.
Now, I can't quite see the cards in Melissa's hand, but she is stuck there with 4 forests, it appears. We see another block.
Another Lithomancer's Focus.
We see a Lithomancer's Focus. But this time, Melissa is not tapped out. We might see a response.
Oh, and she's got the fight card herself.
Is that natural aggression?
Yeah, natural aggression. So she gets the 2-for-1 there. She's really she's at 9, but you know what? She's starting to look like she's a little stable here. She finds a mountain.
Yeah, unnatural aggression allows creatures to fight at instant speed, so responding to that combat trick was pretty solid.
Plays a Hedron.
Okay, we see the 6/6 Vigilance come down.
It's a Deathless Behemoth.
Yeah, Deathless Behemoth on Jimmy's side. So Melissa hanging on, 7 life.
Right, that's the Hedron Archive that she played there. So 4 mana, it's going to make her 2 mana, and she can also sack it to draw 2 cards with the double Mind Stone, as it were.
Right, or 2/3 of the other card.
Well, now
We filled out that cycle.
so 8 mana.
The Dreamstone Hedron, is that the card I'm
Yeah.
thinking of? Yeah.
That's a Eldrazi Devastator. Yeah, that's the Eldrazi Devastator. It's basically just an 8/9 Trampler for 8 mana. Doesn't really do anything special except be big.
Yeah, and let me tell you, being big is often enough. Not the flashiest of Eldrazi, but certainly a heavy hitter at 8/9. But Jimmy is
He's got the Brood Monitor.
not too concerned about it. Brood
Yeah.
Monitor.
And he's sort of going wide on the board. You really see where Eldrazi Scions are much more exciting than Eldrazi Spawn.
Oh, absolutely.
Because,
That's
you know,
one-
suddenly he can just alpha with everybody here.
that 1 power is significant.
So what does Melissa have to clean up this mess? You see the matches are starting to come in. The Wizards team at 63 points. They've got 1 to the good here.
Yeah, unfortunately, the that 8/9 with Trample, the best thing it can do is attack. But Jimmy, at a comfortably high life total, probably doesn't feel pressure to block.
It blocks okay too, right?
I mean, the block's fine, but that takes out 1 creature at a time. Can't take full advantage of that Trample. Conduit of Ruin?
Now she's going to go. Can she stay alive long enough, though?
So she's going to be able to search out a colorless creature card with converted mana cost 7 or greater.
I mean,
So
Ulamog the Ceaseless Hunger seems like a fine choice.
I would imagine that's the one to get. Although, We'll see. Maybe something she can cast earlier if one is available. I mean, with that out, Ulamog costs.
Yeah, she's like, you know what? I've got to live through this turn. Let's see what happens.
8.
I don't know that she can live through this turn, though. Unless she has a trick.
Jimmy's doing
4 creatures get through.
He's doing the math. Melissa's at 5. Jimmy definitely has to think out this attack, because if he's wrong, he puts himself in a real bad spot.
Yeah, but if he doesn't attack, he's also in a real bad spot. Because he knows Ulamog. He really kind of needs to get that conduit of ruin off the board.
Yep.
Yeah, and
he saw it, and there it was.
He's like, yes, I attacked with everybody. It was correct. Woohoo! All right, game 3 coming up.
Yeah, he definitely could not afford to have Ulamog, the Ceaseless Hunter, show up, because that would have taken out Jimmy's 2 biggest threats.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, if I wait a turn, I think I'm just gonna die.
Yeah. So he had one road open, scouted the options, decided on a plan, pushed the attack.
Right. Basically, Melissa, like if Melissa had an outnumber in hand there.
Yeah, there weren't too many tricks. She had, I think, 2 lands untapped.
She had 2. Yeah, she had a green and a red. So if she had like an outnumber, she can kill one of the creatures. You know, she can do 3 damage or 4 damage. I forget if she had 3 or 4 creatures. She had 3. And she can kill something that's a little, she can kill like the brood dude.
Yeah, and take out another 3 attackers by blocking.
Right.
And
I believe stay alive.
Yeah, that's the important thing. If she lives through the turn, she untaps, and assuming the conduit of ruin is still around.
Jimmy's got to be thinking, if that happens, how do I recover from that?
I mean, you have to scope it out and say, well, that I'm going to lose anyway.
Right.
If that happens.
Right.
So I have to take a chance, and I have to just push into it and see what happens.
And that's what he did.
And what happened was victory. So to game 3 we go.
And Melissa can be a pretty intimidating person to play against.
She's terrifying.
She is able to go completely blank at the table. Like she just gives you like this poker face with nothing, no information, and you start to like impose your worst fears. You're like, oh, she's got it. She's definitely got it.
Melissa DeTora is an accomplished pro player. She has been to the top of the mountain.
Yeah.
She knows what it's like, and she is absolutely
in case people don't know,
cold assassin.
She's the first female player to make the top 8 of a pro tour.
Yeah,
which is a pretty big moment.
Absolutely.
And she's now made the transition from there to developer. She's also probably the most important accomplishment in her career. She was a member of the winning community team.
Has the community team won this?
A couple times.
Couple times. Every time but once. Now she's on Team Wizards.
Looking to join the likes of Gavin Verhey and Bill Stark as members of the winning team from both sides of the trophy.
It's an entire turncoat legion.
Both Gavin Verhey and Bill Stark have won as members of the community and members of Wizards of the Coast.
Well, I'll tell you who's lost as a member of Team Wizards of the Coast. That's me.
How'd that taste?
Well, that was in the early days when the Wizards team accepted any and all. It was like summer camp. Everyone got to play, so I had my shot. Now we just send the best. I don't even think I would make this team.
Yeah, there was a lot of talk about this Wizards team as being one of the better teams they've fielded.
Yeah, no, they fielded great. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Ryan Spain's on the team. Yeah, I would have had his spot.
So both players are mulliganing here, by the way. Did not like their opening 7s.
Okay.
I like those sleeves.
Those are nice. Did we run a commercial for those sleeves?
I don't know.
I bet you could buy those somewhere. I don't know where you folks at home buy your magic supplies, but you should go there and pick up those sleeves. Those are awesome.
I'm probably just going to go out on the floor and pick them up off a table, personally.
Well,
I want those Kiora sleeves.
Not everyone at home has that option.
So we got a couple of results.
Oh, good.
Yeah, those sleeves are not available yet, by the way. You cannot find them in a store at this moment.
you should go get in line. They're coming soon.
So we got a couple of results, and things are looking good for the Wizards team. You see, it's 66-60. Mike Turian has derailed the Meganator.
Really?
Yeah. He beats
Megan
her.
Wolf's Reign of Terror.
Yeah, she falls 2-0, and Ali Medwin defeated Pro Tour champion Joel Larson 2-1.
Okay.
So she's got to be pretty excited about that.
Yeah, oh yeah. So here we are, both players with 6 cards.
All right. Little
And
scry.
the scries are upon us.
And both players keep them on top. I'm going to guess their
Interesting.
lands.
Yeah, so if you're a little land light, you look on top, you see a land, that's very good news.
It's always difficult when it's not the right land.
Well, yeah.
You know, you're like forest, and you look and you see a forest, and you're like, oh, I really want to push this. But I
Right.
also don't want to miss my third land drop. So Stonebridge Step from Jimmy Wong. The Thicket from Melissa. Yeah, I mean, that card is going right in many of my decks.
Yeah, Fertile Thicket's one of those, we talked about the lands that enters the battlefield tapped, and maybe you do that early, even though you're wasting the effect. Fertile Thicket, you are not wasting that effect. This is going to allow you to look at the top 5 cards of your library, reveal up to 1 basic land card from among them, and put that card on top, and the other cards go to the bottom in any order. So if you're land light, this can make sure you're going to hit your land drops.
So Valakut Invoker gets in the way of a Core Castigator, but Lithomancer's Touch saves it.
So Fertile Thicket was a card I remember in playtests was just, I loved it. It was great. I kept many a 1-land hand with Fertile Thicket with aggressive decks and just kind of went for it.
So there's the Griffin from the Courier Griffin from Jimmy Wong. And there is Kozilek's Channeler.
It's going to give Melissa a nice ramp. Jimmy Wong up to 21 with the ability from Courier Griffin to gain 2 life when it enters the battlefield. Both sides looking good, coming off a mulligan.
Melissa might be looking a little better.
A little bit.
Well, you know what? She's got 7 mana, and she's holding a Rolling Thunder.
Oh, is she? I had not spotted that. Good eye, my man. We have certainly seen Rolling Thunder have an impact here. Battle for Zendikar sealed. It is a powerful uncommon, allowing you to clear good chunks of your opponent's creatures out of the way if you need to.
So there's Earthen Arms on the flyer.
So that 2/3 flyer has been upgraded to 4/5.
That card's really good.
Yeah. Good early and late. Of course, we're seeing it here kind of in the mid-game to make a massive aerial threat.
But you can also make a 6/6 land out of it, right?
Yeah, it's +1/+1 counters on target permanent, which is a little unusual. But in this set, of course, we have lands becoming creatures all the time, so there are often
So
reasons.
you can put those counters on a land that's not even animated yet.
Yeah,
in the expects that you're in the, you know, like maybe you're going to cast the sweeper next turn, and then you're going to animate a land.
Right, and actually, if you boil down Earthen Arms, technically, if you cast it for its Awaken cost, when the counters go on, it's still a land. It's not a creature yet, and then Awaken makes it become a creature.
All right, that flyer's doing work.
Flyer's doing work. Now, Melissa does have Rolling Thunder.
So
And
she pulls her.
it might be time to cast it.
It is.
Yeah, can't let that 4/5 flyer stand unopposed for very long.
And just 1-for-1s with it, and that's something that you know, we were talking about earlier. The idea that, you know, it's not often going to be that card's going to be like get 4 creatures.
Yeah.
It's a little trickier in this format. There's a little bit more toughness going around, a little bit more, things like earthen arms that you're putting on your creatures, and
Right. Sometimes you'll mow down an army of scions. Sometimes you just need to focus fire on one
sometimes you need to
threat.
kill a 4/5 griffin.
Sometimes there's a griffin coming at your face, and you need to do something about that.
So that's Seek the Wilds.
Okay, creature or land card.
That's a mechanic pretty familiar over the last couple sets. Cards that are.
Oh yeah.
Although I guess we're really used to putting those cards into graveyard. It's kind of weird to see that 2-mana card and not, stock up your yard.
Funny that.
Yeah. Enough.
I think Melissa found Looming Spires there, I believe.
And that looks like a Barrage Tyrant. Barrage Tyrant, 5 mana for a 5/3 devoid. And then it has 2R, sacrifice another creature. Barrage Tyrant deals damage equal to the sacrificed creature's power to target creature or player.
Yeah, we've seen Barrage Tyrant or Barrage Tyrant, Barrage Tyrant.
Barrage Tyrant. I can't believe they ran out.
I was channeling Rich Hagon there for a moment. Barrage Tyrant we have seen before. Haven't seen that ability come into play.
There's the Looming Spire. Don't know which creature she gave first 1/1/1 and first strike to.
I believe it was the Channeler.
Oh, Kenji has derailed Sam Stoddard, by the way. Score total hasn't been updated yet.
But we're going to see that.
Oh, there it
goes.
is. There's the 3 points.
So, community team pulling
Kenji
within one win.
Igashira defeats Sam Stoddard. He does not get to go perfect on the day.
Sam Stoddard letting down Wizards here in this last round of the first day of action.
Yeah, looking at the Barrage there, like, I need to deal with that.
It's hard to deal with. Now,
And white-green especially, right?
Yeah. Can't throw itself, as we mentioned. May not have to.
Yeah, well. Also wants to attack.
And there we see the attack. 4/4 and 5/3 into the red zone. Jimmy's going to block. Jimmy's going to re-block.
I'm going to block them both. Yeah. Eventually decides to block the
I believe the
Barrage.
Channeler got in for 4. Dropping Jimmy to 8. Looks grim for team community here.
Makes a plant.
Bring a plant.
Yeah, it's like rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic.
Yes.
It's bringing plants to the red
He's
zone.
Rearranging the ferns as Melissa untaps with plenty of mana to activate Barrage Tyrant.
Yeah, that was the Grove Tender Druids.
Attack for
But that's a
massive
ruin
amounts of
processor.
damage.
So that's another 7. Now she's getting to the point where she can just finish this game off just with Barrage Tyrant.
There are a variety of ways, actually, Melissa can finish it.
Yeah,
So this
and
is
well, attacking is probably good enough here as well.
the solitary plant, not quite going to do it. Jimmy offers the hand,
Yeah,
and
there
we
we go.
have a final result. Melissa DeTora takes that round, the final round of her day,
So
2-1.
Yeah, so that's 69-63 as things stand at the moment for the Wizards team. So, that's an 18-point swing. They were 12 points down coming into this
Yeah.
format. They are now 6 points up.
They tied it up after round 5, have pulled into the lead, and I'm not sure how many matches we have in progress.
Well, we only know we know that there are 4, I guess.
Okay.
Right? 4
That's
in, right?
around.
It was 60-60 coming in.
Sure.
It's 69-63 at this point. So
That's a lot of numbers there.
I
don't-
gotcha.
Yeah, I do.
four
I
matches.
do
Four matches.
rules.
4 match results outstanding for us.
I do rules. I
Yeah.
don't do numbers.
Yeah. So
Welcome back to the booth.
great. No, seriously, great job by the Wizards team here.
Yeah.
And Melissa's deck, boy, now I keep going back and forth. I'm like, oh, I want to be allies. I want to be Eldrazi. I want that deck. I want just like to be able to, she has all these ways to make sure her land draws are pretty consistent.
Yeah.
She has all these ways to tutor and to like, just kind of tutor and ramp at the same time in some cases with From Beyond. It's pretty convincing that you might want to just have a good Eldrazi deck in sealed.
If Battle for Zendikar was an action movie, the allies are the chase scenes. They're fast, they're aggressive. The Eldrazi are massive explosions.
Yes.
Super impressive.
All right, let's take a look at the score graphic. We can see where things stand right now. So,
as we saw, 69-63 in favor of the challengers, Wizards of the Coast, defending champions community.
And again, they came into this format down 4 full matches. Oh, we have some new scores coming in.
Sounds like we just got an update. More scores to report.
Yeah, so we'll see if the community team can close that gap.
No.
No,
not yet. Although I will say an impressive showing from the community. This is still a very close match.
Oh, absolutely. There's
absolutely.
There are, by the way, Ironroot Chef. There are going to be a ton of points on the line.
Yes,
a ton of points,
and
not something you can completely control.
Right.
In the red zone.
Right. Fans of Wizards of the Coast will be sad to hear that I am not one of the judges for Ironroot Chef. Maybe next year I'll study flavor. I try. I really do.
You eat to live.
Well, that's certainly true. I do eat, I do eat to live. I live to eat. I eat to live. I do it all.
Okay.
So
what do we have coming up? Do we have an interview or? Okay, so we're gonna get an interview lined up.
Yeah.
Maybe talk to Melissa, talk to Jimmy. I'm not sure.
We are dispatching a wild Tim Willoughby to talk to somebody on the floor.
Yeah, it sounds like he's going to talk to Jimmy Wong.
Oh, great.
Talk a little bit about Commander, maybe.
Oh, good. He's an expert on that.
He is.
Also getting crushed by Melissa DeTora.
Yeah. I mean, felt a little bit like a Commander game,
Giant monsters.
Yeah, just giant
monsters.
You're like, oh, I brought my
right.
I brought my ally deck.
There was some ramp. We saw searching for lands.
Okay, so we're ready to go down to floor. Let's hear what Jimmy Wong has to say about his day one experience here at the Community Cup.
Oh, Jimmy.
Willoughby.
Jimmy Wong. This was not a kind format for you.
No, it was not. Turns out that once my opponent resolved anything above 7 CMC, it's pretty much lights out.
Which for almost any limited format, if that's the thing that you're losing to, that's not that big a deal, because there's maybe 1 7-cost spell in people's decks.
Yeah.
Not so much here. Zendikar is a place filled with big monsters.
Giant monsters. Melissa drew really well, and I drew really well too. She just managed to ramp out stuff early. I also just did an all-out bluff attack with her with my 3-1, just because I was short 1 green the entire time. Because if I could fight, I would have fought those 2 creatures before damage was down and a bunch of other stuff. And unfortunately, I was stuck on 1 green and I couldn't get my stuff out in time to save me from the billions of damage. Also, I think at one point her entire board was rares.
Yeah, at the end of game 1, it was nothing but rares, and all pretty high quality rares at that.
Yes, exactly.
But, let's put that behind us. This day is now complete. You finished with your Battle for Zendikar sealed.
Yep. And
first thing tomorrow, we've got Ironroot Chef, so a constructed format. How do you feel about constructed?
I'm going to feel way better about Ironroot Chef because it's way more similar to Commander. It's like you get to build a really flavorful deck that has funny, wonky, crazy, random combos in it. So I'm looking forward to making something that's just equally crazy and hopefully fun for people to watch.
Yeah, the command zone, very much your comfort zone.
Yes,
and
exactly.
At least playing with where you get to pick exactly the cards you're going to play with, kind of the way that you want to be doing things.
Yeah.
In terms of how things have been working together with the team, was there much help on deck construction for this one? Were you looking at each other's pools a little bit?
We were a little rushed when it got to it, so we spent a lot of time trying to figure out how to really get our decks together. And there's a little bit of running around, but I think we were all sort of in the by ourselves when we constructed. And then we did a lot of looking at them after our first rounds when we either lost or won. And we're like, we need to address problems immediately.
Yeah, I guess that kind of the nice thing about this format, it was working on more like a pre-release style construction where if you need to make little tweaks, you can make little spot adjustments once you realize, oh wait, that card's a sorcery, not an instant.
Oh yeah, that happened a couple times today already. Not a good one to happen. Not a good feeling when you're like, I cast nothing. Yeah. Nothing happens.
Notes, kids, for the pre-release, check if it's an instant or a sorcery before you cast it, because that 3 damage spell, it is a sorcery, and if you do wait, bad things can happen.
Yeah.
It's not ideal.
Yep.
But as it is, the community back in the comfort zone tomorrow for
Hopefully.
En route chef, and lots of play still left in this community cup. So best of luck for tomorrow, Jimmy Wong.
Thanks, Tim. If you're on my side, we're all good.
Oh, that was sweet.
Good to see a smile on Jimmy's face.